choice.
"150 miles of racing, and we're underway in the first Gatorade Duel."
You know, like he might decide he can get a better push from the 18 than he could from the 21.
That could have had a lot to do with it, and of course with these restrictor plate engines, it takes a while to get them wound up.
Remember last Saturday night in the Budweiser shootout, the race was won by Kevin Harvick by starting in the outside lane on the final restart.
Pretty much dead even right now, halfway down the back straightaway, so no advantage either way at this point. 21 is giving Bill Elliott, and 21 is giving Ryan Newman a pretty good push right there. Folks, you're probably in your office right now, probably watching this. These guys are at work right here in their office today, too.
Who'll lead the first lap, Darrell? It'll be Newman by about a foot.
And by now, Mark Martin's probably saying, maybe I should have taken the end. Maybe I should have stayed on the inside.
Darrell talked to Michael Waltrip in that 51 car, riding with Kyle Busch down to 18, but Michael already starting to make a little noise, riding right behind Kyle Busch.
Denny Hamlin right in the middle between the 24 of Jeff Gordon and A.J. Allmendinger, the 43.
Michael's always had a good Hamlin race car. If this thing goes great for a while, that's always been sort of his advantage here at Daytona.
Look at Joe Nemechek in the 87. That car moving up on the inside. Joe has two ways to make the race. He can race his way in, or his qualifying speed will get him in.
But Mike, what we've seen down here, the middle is not a real good place to be. That sucker hole down the middle has not paid off for anybody.
And that's where Michael Waltrip's stuck right now. He has Denny Hamlin, the 11, Harvick, the 29, with him, which may be his only saving grace.
And that when you're in the middle like that, you got cars on either side of you. You get a little loose one way, you get a little shove the other. You're really getting bounced around by the weight turbulence.
Mark Martin becomes the first driver to pull out with a lead.
And look at this, 3 wide to ooh. Mikey just got a little bump from Joe Nemechek in the 87. Got him loose, but he hung on to it.
Oh,
Getting loose again.
Hamlin.
Mikey's had a lot of trouble down there. You know, he spun out in the All-Star race, in the shootout race the other night, and spun out in practice yesterday. So he's had his hands full with that car.
Rick Biffle put a little push on.
It's actually his teammate, Carl Edwards, in the 99. Those two guys, different race cars, but they both had great race cars in the Budweiser shootout last Saturday night.
And one of the things that's so different this time here at Daytona than what we've heard in the past, listen to the engines. These guys can get in and out of the throttle and not lose any positions. Like here in the past, you've had to hold the thing wide open or you just got passed by everybody.
Right now, the two transfer spots, Bill Elliott in the 21, Michael Waltrip in the 51, and Joe Nemechek off the pace.
And I'd say there is a method to his madness. He is locked into the Daytona 500. He's not going to get that race car tore up.
I'll tell you another guy that you might want to think about that too. You saw Bill Elliott on the turn 4 there get really bad loose. And of course, Bill is in the race, so
he's running fourth right now.
I think Bill would just like to get some laps here and see how good his car is and what maybe needs to be done to it for Sunday. But he needs to be real careful in that car. Ooh.
Jeff Burton just sliced and diced off the front of Ryan Newman there.
And that's all spotter. That's when the spotter says you're clear up now, and you've got to go right then. You can't hesitate.
Newman snapped right back down to the bottom as they battle for 5th place.
Everybody's car is probably driving decent right now, but what we've seen all weekend long, you get up about 10 or 12 laps on those tires of green flag racing, that's when the handling really starts to become a handful. A.J. Allmendinger in that 43 car, he had a good qualifying run, and he's backing it up. He drove right up there to the top 3, right behind Kyle Busch at 18.
One slow car on the apron will make it back to the garage. Jeff Fuller starting the second Joe Nemechek car. And he finished this one and we'll head home.
And you can see what kind of happens here at Daytona. We're coming up to 6 laps. It doesn't take but just a few laps for that really good feel those tires have and the car has to start to deteriorate and go away lap after lap after lap. All of a sudden, you really just want to kind of get in single file and work on them one at a time instead of 3 or 4 at a time, getting 3 wide like we were there a bit ago.
You know, guys, that 31 car of Jeff Burton and Greg Biffle in that 16, Jeff Hammond talked about this in the pre-race, and I thought he was spot on because Richard Childress and the Roush Fenway cars, they maybe didn't have that brute speed for qualifying, but just like in the shootout, looks like their cars are driving good.
Well, I think most car owners told me that they brought cars here that have a little bit more downforce than that would let them qualify good, but they felt like it would pay off in the race, and so far it has.
Look at him 3 wide with Jimmy Johnson stuck in the middle between Harvick and the 37 of Travis Kvapil, the blue car on the outside.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Johnson's backup car. Started in the rear. Boy, that car moved a little bit through those bumps, though, and we've seen that a lot here. But Jimmy's slowly working his way to the front.
He has wasted no time at all. In fact, he's about to crack the top 10 just after 7 laps.
In the transfer spots, Bill Elliott, Michael Waltrip here in the 51. Waltrip is 11th. The next transfer spot, potentially, Michael McDowell is in 20th position in the Prison Motorsports 55.
And you know, two of the best cars in the shootout the other night, McMurray in the 1 and Harvick in the 29, felt like they would work their way right to the front. They're kind of stuck mid-pack right now.
Harvick in 14th, McMurray in 13th. Just ahead, driving the number 1 for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing this season. Mark Martin has had it his way ever since the first lap that was led by Ryan Newman. Mark Martin from Kyle Busch, A.J. Allmendinger, Jeff Burton, and Greg Biffle.